A mind at peace allows the universe to reveal itself. Life is abundant with challenges, often leaving us feeling overwhelmed and stressed. Despite our best efforts to manage, we can find ourselves stuck in a cycle of suffering and dissatisfaction. Pain and suffering are inherent aspects of the human experience. They influence our actions, shape our perspectives, and can even define our identities. Fundamentally, suffering often arises from our emotional attachments to specific outcomes or situations, a mix of our biological instincts and societal conditioning that impacts our choices, values, and aspirations. But what if the secret to a more peaceful life lies in the paradoxical notion of caring less rather than perpetually striving for control? This is precisely what Taoism, the ancient Chinese philosophy, has been teaching for centuries. It provides a different perspective on life's challenges, emphasizing principles like balance, naturalness, and simplicity. Taoism encourages us to care less about outcomes and instead live in harmony with the natural world. In this essay, we'll delve into the teachings of Taoism and explore how its principles can help us handle life's ups and downs more gracefully. In the modern world, it's easy to get lost in the chaos. We are often encouraged to push harder, aim higher, and never settle. We belong to a generation that is constantly hustling, whether it's climbing the corporate ladder, keeping up with social media, or maintaining a social life. There's always something demanding our attention. Take career pressure, for instance. Society tells us that by a certain age, we should have a stable job, a certain income level, and perhaps even own a house. But what if you're still figuring things out? The pressure can be overwhelming. Social expectations add another layer of stress. The number of likes on an Instagram post can somehow become a measure of your worth. It's important to recognize that these pressures can significantly affect our mental well-being. Constant comparison, whether with societal norms or our personal benchmarks, can lead to considerable emotional strain. Stress becomes a frequent visitor. Anxiety lurks around the corner, and in more severe cases, depression can appear. This emotional landscape can feel like a never-ending race. Just when you think you're nearing the finish line, it moves further away, making the pursuit of contentment seem like an impossible goal. This is where Taoism comes into play, offering tools to approach these challenges in a more balanced way. One of the central principles in Taoism is called Wu Wei, which translates to effortless action. The term effortless might suggest laziness or a lack of care, but that's far from what Wu Wei entails. Imagine the experience of skateboarding down a hill. In that moment, you're not fighting against forces like gravity. Instead, you're in harmony with them. You lean into the slope, adjust your stance, and let gravity do its work. You're fully engaged, yet there's a sense of ease in your actions. This is what Wu Wei encapsulates, a state where you're doing exactly what needs to be done without forcing it, without struggling against the natural order of things. It's about finding that sweet spot between effort and relaxation, where you're actively participating in life's events, but not trying to manipulate or control them. Lao Tzu, the central figure of Taoism, once said, "Act without expectation." At first glance, this quote might seem like a call to lower your standards or disengage from your goals. However, it's actually an invitation to a more mindful way of living. For example, many of us know the experience of job hunting. After you've polished your resume and sent out applications, there's a tendency to constantly check for responses. Each moment without a callback can become a source of stress. But Lao Tzu suggests a shift in perspective. Once you've done your part, crafted a strong application and sent it off, it's time to step back and detach from the outcome. Let things take their course, freeing yourself from the anxiety of what if. You've planted the seed, now give it the space to grow. Lao Tzu also said, "Be content with what you have, rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you." Another Taoist principle that resonates is Ziran, often translated as naturalness or spontaneity. In today's world, the pressure to conform to societal norms can be intense, whether it's how we should look, what career we should pursue, or how we should behave. There's often a script that many feel they need to follow. But Ziran invites us to pause and consider the power of authenticity. Take friendships, for instance. The most fulfilling friendships usually aren't the ones where you're putting on a facade or pretending. They're the ones where you can be your true self and still feel accepted and valued. In these relationships, there's a natural flow of give and take, understanding, and empathy. That's what Ziran embodies, a state of being where you're not forcing yourself into preconceived molds, but allowing your true nature to shine. This can lead us to the art of caring less. In Taoist philosophy, there's an emphasis on the concept of detachment. Let's clarify what this doesn't mean. It's not a call for indifference or emotional withdrawal. Rather, it's an invitation to practice emotional intelligence and discernment in our interactions and decisions. The idea is not to remove ourselves from the experiences and challenges of life, but to engage with them in a more mindful way. It's like having a filter for your emotional energy, deciding what truly deserves your attention and what doesn't. Consider a heated argument you might find yourself in. The immediate reaction might be to dig your heels in and try to win the argument. But if you apply this Taoist principle, you'd pause and assess the situation. You'd ask yourself, is this argument really worth the emotional toll it's taking? More often than not, the answer is no. Another common scenario is dealing with tight deadlines at work or while studying. The clock seems to be ticking faster than usual, and stress builds up with each passing minute. It's tempting to consider pulling an all-nighter to meet the deadline. However, and this is when the Taoist principle of caring less can guide you. You pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that your well-being is not worth sacrificing for a single deadline. With this newfound clarity, you approach the task in a balanced manner. You commit to giving it your best effort, but within the boundaries of what's reasonable for your physical and emotional health. Once you've done that, you allow yourself the freedom to detach from the outcome. You've done your part, and that's enough. In essence, the Taoist principle of caring less isn't about reducing the amount of care or concern you have. It's more like being a strategic player in a game. You don't just make any move. You think about what's truly worth your effort and what isn't. This principle allows you to be more selective, to make conscious choices that genuinely contribute to your well-being and peace of mind. This way, you're not tossed around by every external circumstance that comes your way. Lao Tzu once said, "By letting it go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go. But when you try, the world is beyond the winning." Another perspective many of us hold on to is the idea that life should be a steady, unchanging experience. It's as if we expect the sun to hang in the sky forever, never giving way to night. But reality is different, isn't it? The sun sets, and the moon takes its place. This cycle of day and night is a simple yet powerful reminder that change is the only constant. It's a lesson that Taoism has been teaching for centuries through the concept of yin and yang. This principle helps us understand that life is not a static picture, but a dynamic movie filled with scenes that shift and evolve. Just as day transitions into night, our lives are filled with alternating cycles of joy and sorrow, activity and rest. Take the gym as an example. When you're there, it's not just about lifting weights and pushing your body to its limits. That's the yang part, the active, forceful energy. But there's also the yin aspect, the need for rest and recovery. After a strenuous workout, you don't just head back to the weight rack. You take time to cool down, maybe do some stretching, and give your muscles the rest they need to rebuild. It's a balanced approach that's crucial for your overall well-being. This gym analogy mirrors the broader cycles of life. There are times when we're in full-on yang mode, tackling goals and facing challenges. But those periods are balanced by yin moments, times for reflection, relaxation, and recharging our emotional batteries. The concept of yin and yang not only complements the idea of caring less, but also offers a balanced lens through which to view life's inevitable changes. It reminds us that change isn't something to resist, but a natural phenomenon to embrace, making the journey of life a bit less daunting. Lao Tzu once said, "Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like." When we stop resisting life's natural cycles and start flowing with them, it's like taking a heavy backpack off our shoulders. We move through challenges with a lighter step. We also find that our decision-making becomes more intuitive and less forced. It's not about making the perfect choice, but about making a choice that aligns with our current circumstances and what's in our control at that point in time, enhancing our sense of well-being and adding depth to our everyday experiences.